Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It has been a minute since I've made some videos, but I am back after a little bit of travel and getting sick and some craziness at work and at home. It is finally time to start making some videos, and what better way to kick off a new series of videos than by doing an account update. I've been playing this game for almost 8 years. I downloaded it in April of 2016. I remember Red Hulk was the event quest that came out that month, and yeah, the account has been growing pretty steadily since then. I have a lot of new champs and new rank ups, building toward my second Ascension and my fourth rank 2 7-star champion at the moment. So yeah, we're gonna go over all that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the future of the game and like 7 stars versus 6 stars, but more on that later. And yeah, let's get this thing kicked off. First of all, I just want to let everyone know, if you didn't know already, that I did go to Vancouver for the meetup. It was an absolute blast. I highly recommend anybody considering going, start saving the money now. It is money very well spent to travel over there. There are just too many people to even name, but first of all, thank you especially to Kabam Mike and all the devs and Kabam folks out there. They put on an amazing show. The Battle Realm Brawl was just so fun to see in person. It was so exciting. The summit was really fun to get all that information and just sort of mingle with people. And you know, they really just made sure we had fun. They pointed us in the right directions, just had some amazing food, amazing conversations. It was just such a memorable 3 days. For all the people that I hung out with, you know who you are. I really feel like I'm starting to make what are going to be lifelong friendships. People that I talk to every day online and Discord. You know, we have a lot more in common than just this one hobby, it seems, and we're going to be friends for a long time. So thank you to everybody who made that such a memorable experience. Now, while I was there, I did benefit from the prize wheel in a pretty big way. We'll go over that. And also, I finished 8.3, and I had previously finished the Act 7 challenge. So, you know, there was a lot of crystals to pop. A lot of my friends popped some crystals, and we had some pretty massive champ acquisitions. So we'll go over all that. So anyway, we're going to just start by talking about the account page here. You can see I have the one Ascended champion. It is Scorpion. It's pretty fun to see him at the top of my profile. I recently got that content creator badge, which is, you know, kind of cool. I don't love the color, but hey, you know what? It kind of works with Elsa up there with the green and red, right? Now, I never officially announced this, but I am retired from SSX and High Tier Alliance War. I've gone back to VACC, which I am now considering my permanent alliance home. The people there are so fun. Cat Murdock is the leader, and she's just an amazing officer and an amazing friend. It is so fun to like play Alliance War with her every day and all the other people there. Some of my oldest friends in the game from when I first downloaded it are in our alliance now. So, you know, it's a little bit more casual, 2 battle groups, but I really feel like for the first time in a long time, I'm playing the game the way I want to have fun, which is logging in when I want to instead of logging in when I need to. Just, you know, because I'm a very dependable person. When it came to just making sure the other 29 alliance members were taken care of, I would always prioritize that. It's just the pressure's a lot lower in an alliance like this, and the game has sort of diversified to the point where like it really you don't have to do the high tier stuff to get the rewards that you need. We get enough glory and loyalty to sort of top off all those resources, and you know, there's just so much to do in the game now between incursions and battlegrounds and all the content coming out that like you don't have to do it all, and I'm choosing not to do it all, and it's actually been even more fun than I thought it would be. So anyway, let's get into the roster. You don't need to hear me talk about philosophy too much more, but we're going to start with a 7-star roster because this has just been like booming lately. You know, we've got some like over 20 now, it looks like. And, you know, before we get into this, are 6 stars dead, right? That's a question that we hear often. Should I be rank 5ing or should I be rank 2ing the 7 stars? You know, in this moment in time, it's a little bit no and a little bit yes. Like we see the writing on the wall that 6 stars are going to slowly be phased out. We do have Ascension, which makes them extremely powerful and sort of contend with the 7-star rank 2s in terms of the raw stats. But at the same time, we have the Necropolis coming out, which is going to greatly benefit you using 7 stars due to the way the challenge rating and the enrage is going to work in that content. So, you know, the game is definitely pushing us in that direction. I think this end of year and the beginning of next year is going to kind of be the last hurrah for 6 stars, which is a little bit of a drag. But, you know, currently the best champions in the game are only available as 6-star. The Sig stones that can make them as powerful as possible are only available for them, and then also Ascension is only available for the 6 stars. So like, I do not think they are dead. I think they have a lot more life. I think you should kind of be alternating, like making sure you're rank 2ing some of your 7 stars, because soon you'll be able to rank 3 them, and at the same time you still rank 5ing some of your 6 stars. That would be my advice to everybody else. I also have a larger video project in the works right now where I'm going to be kind of going over the history of the game and like how fast things have progressed and like where we are today. You know, a lot of people know that 6 stars were very slow to roll out and progress, and 7 stars are moving sort of at the speed of light. I tracked all of that, and it's going to be a really, really fun timeline where I go over all the history of the game and put some stuff in perspective. So watch out for that video. I do predict, though, that in 2024, we're going to see a little bit of a shift towards 7 stars completely dominating. With that said, let's take a look at the 7-star roster. Starting from the bottom, we have all these science champs here. Morbius is somebody who's been really helpful. Now, Black Cat is somebody that I pulled from a loyalty crystal. Again, my friend popped it while we were in Vancouver. She was my most wanted. I had struck out on her on the previous couple of them, and she is going straight to rank 2. As you can see, I have almost all the resources. I just need a couple more skill catalysts here and we'll be good to go. That should probably by the end of next month get her to rank 2. I just think she's a phenomenal champion, especially with the Black Widow relic. We have Red Goblin, of course. He's one of our unique ones that we did get off of the that selector back in the day. Now that he's in the basic pool, I would love to dupe him. Falcon is one of the newer ones that we have. America Chavez is one of the newer ones we have. Angela is one of the ones that I got from she's the only one that I got from the Incursions crystal. I really wanted Hulkbuster, but Angela actually is really good. Having another cosmic champion, I love to see that. And then, you know, our duped champions are Guillotine 2099, who I think is going to be great for Necropolis. Rocket, who's just so much fun and does so much damage. And Dragon Man is like Sig 40 or Sig 60 right now. I've duped him a lot, and, you know, it is what it is. Now, our top 3 champions right now are Shuri, who was my 8.3 basic crystal reward. Again, the same friend that pulled that Black Cat also got me this Shuri, so thanks to them. I think I'm gonna have to ship you out to DC to open my crystals from now on, because the luck was just off the charts. But I do think Shuri is potentially the most powerful basic champion in the 7-star pool right now, and she is definitely gonna be a useful champion for Necropolis. Maybe not for the entire thing, but I know for sure there are going to be some paths that you're going to want her. She just does so much shock damage and is really tanky. She was an immediate rank 2. I even used that 1 to 2 gem that we got from 8.3 to make her go up like that. And then, of course, Elsa Bloodstone, super lucky to have her. I know she's not the best champion in the game, but she's one of my favorite champions, and I feel like I'm one of the better Elsa players out there just because I feel really comfortable with her, and she can do so much in the skill class. So it was an obvious rank 2 for me. Would love to get that dupe sometime in the future. And similarly, Sunspot has been a godsend, right? Because my 7-star roster is not as deep, it's not as large as some other of my peers, but having that Sunspot in the Battlegrounds deck has been like a game changer. I don't want to say he's an automatic win, but he's as close to an automatic win as possible when it comes to Battlegrounds. He just does so much damage. He's one of the best Nick Fury killers out there, and it doesn't really even matter what's going on. Like, you can do 1 special 1 and 1 special 2. Most Battleground health pools will not survive that. Against someone like Dr. Doom, you can even just do special 2s because you may be getting those shocks on you and things like that. But yeah, he just chunks through health, and he has the perfect block. And as a rank 2, he is extremely powerful. Now that rank 2 rarity that we get is so much stronger than the rank 5s, just in terms of raw power. Like I really do feel like if I draft one of my rank 2s, it's as close as possible to saying I automatically win a round. Like Elsa has even won stuff on defense just because her stats are so high. Like if you take some blocked hits, or if she shrugs something at the wrong time and combos you, bad things can happen. So these rank 2s are really powerful. I understand Ascended 6 stars are right up there in terms of the stats, but when you have the stat focus and the challenge rating and all that, these rank 2s are just absolute monsters. I can't wait till we get rank 3s, because just imagining any of these 3 champs as rank 3s is just absolutely bonkers. So we're still missing a lot of 7 stars, but it just means we got a lot of time to grow, and I'm pretty happy with the ones that I have now. I feel like I don't have a single bad one. Like I've used all of them in content or battlegrounds at certain points, and we love to see that. So moving on, we're going to go to the 6 stars. Let's start with the rank 5s. I've really sort of expanded this roster over the recent times. You can see my one Ascended champion is Scorpion. He's not max Sig, but he's at a Sig where I believe when it comes to willpower healing, we're close to maxing out how much regen he is getting, which is the main benefit of it. You don't really need to bring him to Sig 200 because it does cap out eventually. But we have Spidey Supreme. There's a lot of Spider-Verse characters here if you haven't noticed. But he is one of my favorites. He's always a nuisance on defense, especially in this current meta. If you don't have a counter for him, he's just going to wreck you in 2 seconds. But he is a pretty underrated attacker, especially against like Hulkling and other buff champions like that. He does take a little bit of a risky play style, but he has the safety net built in with the miss. I really enjoy this champion. You would think like, how come I don't have someone like Absorbing Man or Dr. Doom up there? They're probably coming in the near future. Like I do think Absorbing Man or potentially Werewolf by Night, who I was able to get, are going to be my next rank 5 mystics. But Spidey's done a great job, mostly in battlegrounds and just in some fun fights and Alliance War defense that I really enjoy him up there. Spidey 99, one of my signature champs. Obviously, he's all over the channel art, and I do still think he's one of the most powerful science champions, especially at Sig 200. He's one of those champs that if he came out as a 7-star, I would much rather use the 6-star currently. Nick Fury is just busted. He's, I tried to avoid like the Hercules and Doom type rank ups, and Nick is right up there with them in terms of what he can do with 5 out of 5 deep wounds and the second life and just being an annoying defender. I will say he's mostly a defender for me. Like when it comes to battlegrounds, I'm not really choosing him on attack that often, but he is definitely still a big stall at the rank 5 level, a future Ascension for me for sure. Null was my first rank 5, and he is not disappointed. I know he's in the 7-star pool now, but the thing about him is Sig 200, the ramp up is just so much faster. You can just start spamming special ones and doing an outrageous amount of damage, blocking healing and reversing regen, removing armor, and just, like getting the unblockable and the unstoppable, and lots of red damage as you go. I find in battlegrounds, he needs that Sig 200, so that you start with 15. By the time you throw a special one, you get close to 30 of the debuffs, and then, by the time you're there, you're just cycling like 1 or 2 more special ones and they're dead. He is really underrated when it comes to some of those annoying defenders, like Iron Man has been pretty annoying lately. He's one of the best counters to him. It just goes on and on. He can take Penny Parker and Nimrod, and like there's some just annoying defenders that, like, especially in this current battlegrounds meta where you don't want to be having buffs expiring. He's a cosmic that does some cosmic things, but is also a generalist and doesn't rely on buffs. We love to see that. So Null, very, very good. Potential Ascension target, believe it or not. I hope that I can use him for at least a path or two in Necropolis, because he's just so insane when it comes to the long form content. And I'm happy that I chose to rank him before I knew he was going to be a 7-star, because I might have gotten some cold feet related to that if I knew that he did exist. But I made this decision sort of in a vacuum, and it was a really good one, I think. And yeah, we got Null. He's amazing. Future Ant-Man, one of my favorite tech champions. So much utility, and tankiness and glancing is annoying on defense. He just messes people up on defense, but I do find find him to be a very potent attacker for Battlegrounds health pools. For Alliance War, he was like MVP a couple seasons ago, and he still is quite good. One of the best Bishop counters in the game. Love him. Kate Bishop is my most recent, and I took her up with, I guess I got the rank 5 gem from 8.3. I do think she's going to be amazing in Necropolis. She is probably my top candidate for next Ascension right now. Totally copying MSD on that, but MSD, you know, he makes some pretty good choices, and he likes Red Goblin, so of course, you know, I gotta respect that. But yeah, Kate Bishop, her ceiling when you have the max sig and you nail all those perfect releases and you get the 5 dialed in passives, it's just crazy, right? In the long form content, the red damage, the cold snap, and the caltrops is just crazy. And I do think even with the new enraged timer, which is time based in Necropolis, the amount of damage per second that she does and the utility that she has is going to be very valuable as a general clearer for that content. So I do think she's going to go up, and she's just great in general, even in short matchups. So yeah, we love Kate Bishop. Really good design. I do think she's going to get ascended. If she doesn't get ascended though, it's going to be this man right here, Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. I never had this guy as a 5-star, right? Like back in his heyday when people were doing labyrinth clears with him, I just was never able to get him. I struck out on his featured crystal, and just like by the time I had him, we had moved past 5 stars. So when I got him as a 6-star, I was like, screw this, we are going to rank him up and start using him. He's rank 5. I can't believe how much damage this guy does, like 35k heavy attacks if they crit. And like with relics, by the way, with the striker, you can get into these stun chain loops. You basically build 10 poise, and then you do a special one, you do a relic, you do a special one. Most Battlegrounds pools are dead. He also has that power control, so they'll never throw a special. All you got to do is get off one heavy. It is an amazing, he's just a beast. He can get like 52k scores on almost against any opponent, whether it's like Bishop or you know, just like an annoying Mystic or something like that. He just gets it done. So I'm really excited to finally have him. I have Blade rank 4 as well, so it's a little bit of a throwback to 2017. And yeah, that's the rank 5s. I don't have a ton of them. You know, as you can see, like most people that have YouTube channels and are sort of in my peer bracket have more of these types of champions. But you know, overall, I'm very happy with the decisions I've made, and they've all been doing really well for me. Let's get to the rank 4s now. All right, so we're just going to kind of go a little bit faster here. But yeah, Doom, pretty obvious. Absorbing Man, likely going to go to rank 5 next. Omega Sentinel, I haven't been using as much lately, but she is one of my favorite tech champions. It's just like now that I have Starkey and Fanta up there, like she hasn't been getting as much use, but definitely for that prowess control, she's quite good. And I do like the Nullify Immune. I do feel like you want a Nullify Immune tech on your roster, and she's probably the best one currently. I know Viv is quite good in Battlegrounds and War, but for me, I do like just sort of the dependability of Omega Sentinel and her flow. Valkyrie, I haven't been using her a ton lately. She was a rank 5 candidate, but I went with Kate over her. But yeah, when it comes to unstoppable countering and hitting into block, we all know what she can do. Doom is just a really solid champion. I do think he's still a little underrated, but he's extremely simple. Like you don't even have to worry about the special 3 if you just push them to high power. His special 2 is a little bit like Mystic Doom special 3, where like you can push them red, you can do a heavy into the special 2, and it's going to guarantee power drain them and do a bunch of burst damage. That's usually enough for him to be a good enough champion. You don't have to overthink it. And yeah, he's just super tanky and has those good immunities and is very reliable. Overseer, I still use my 6-star because he's max sig, and that sig is so important. So I do think that my rank 4 out damages my current 7-star one, but if I ever do dupe him, I'm can very much consider rank 2ing the Overseer, but he's such a good 6-star currently. Kitty Pryde, self-explanatory. Bishop, similar story with the 7-star. He's not duped, so I keep the 6-star in my Battlegrounds deck because that Sig 200 on defense is just so gnarly. One mistake and you're just going to get clipped by any of the special attacks and then you're dead. So I would rather have him that way as a 2-way. When I need to use him on offense, he still is plenty potent as a rank 4. Spot, potential rank 5 candidate, but he does exist in the 7-star pool. Elsa, I'm not using the 6-star as much because the 7-star is rank 2, and even though she's unawakened, it is a very powerful amount of stats, and with the stat focus, she's basically hitting harder than this one ever would. However, there are times where there's like an annoying XL matchup or something where I will bust out the 6-star. It's nice to have both. It's a really good SIG ability, good to have it SIG 200. Apocalypse, we'll see if he's good in the Necropolis. My theory is that he won't be, because he was a lot better in that like slow burn damage per hit style that you would get out of the Abyss. But you know, I could see him with the Strife synergy still being relevant. Toad is likely going to go to rank 5. I have a mutant 4 to 5 gem currently, and it's kind of between Apocalypse and Toad, and I have some theories that Toad might actually be good in some of the Necropolis fights. He's just so good against skill champions, and there's bound to be some annoying skill champions in there. So I'm kind of interested to see if he's going to be like how Torch was to Mystics, with him against skill champions. It's a little bit of a theory at the moment, but I'm holding on to that right now because I'd love to be able to rank Toad. I think he's underrated, but we'll see. Nimrod is Nimrod, like pretty self-explanatory. Silk, let's see, she's SIG 140. I think she's one of the best science champions in the game currently. She's a little busted in Battlegrounds because of the way the relics work, and you can get to that full spirit bar a little bit faster than you would in content. But yeah, she's really just wrecking people on offense, and yeah, very happy to have her. I do kind of compare her to Quicksilver a little bit, and I like her better. I know Quicksilver has a lot more utility than she ever does, but like I needed one of those champs that didn't dex, and I ranked her up over Quicksilver for now. I'm really happy with that decision. Baron Zemo is someone I don't use that often, but good to have. He's not max sig, but he does make appearances on defense, and I know how to play him. I just am not like grabbing him off the shelf that often. Hopefully that'll change in the future because I know he's very powerful. Stealthy, one of my newest rank 4s. I'm really kind of enjoying ranking all these older champions, especially the Spider-Verse ones. He is currently the Battlegrounds tactic. It's good to have class advantage sometimes against science champions, and also to have this ability that he, with the decay tactic and all that stuff, he just dishes out a ton of damage. He has the pretty easy access to slow. Always enjoyed him. He's quite good. Hulkling, one of the best cosmic champions in the game, definite rank 5 candidate because I don't think he's coming out as a 7-star anytime soon. Medusa, one of my favorite rank ups. She definitely comes in handy with the immunity, with the armor break, and with the armor shatter against robots, but even more than that, her armor break just scales even better the higher she is ranked. So having her at rank 4, she really feels way more powerful than she ever did as a 5-star for me, and really happy to have her there. Then we've got Lady Deathstrike, one of my favorite tech champions, really good at the heal block and the rupture damage. I have not really stretched her out too much because there hasn't been a lot of use for her in the last few Battlegrounds metas, but I am excited like in the future if there is a meta that she's going to be really good at. I do think she's very powerful, and I do enjoy the sort of like aggressive play style that she has, and you've got to respect that rupture damage because it is so high. And then of course Weapon X countering, no one does it better. It's really fun to use her against Weapon X, so really glad to have her. War Machine was sort of a rank up a few seasons ago as a defender for the thing, I forget what it was called, but it was those flourish buffs and all that. He was one of the defenders for that. Unfortunately, I know that he is a 7-star, so I probably would rank him down if I could, because I think the 7-star is way more powerful, even unduped. But nonetheless, I've always enjoyed War Machine, and it's good to have him at this level. Blade, one of my newest ones. He's not max sig, but he's at a sig where that regen is extremely potent. There's a lot of dimensional beings in the game now, whether it's America Chavez or Gallon or Spot, Fanta. There's some of the new ones, so he is making a little bit of a resurgence. He pairs really well with Stark and Hand Spider-Man, and just a very good champion overall, good to have. Rintra is rank 4. He's kind of insane. Like, I think he's a little busted under the hood. But when it comes to being an annoying defender and a potent attacker, he's got it both. I don't feel bad about ranking him, even though he is kind of insane and a little weird. But he gets the job done, and he's very powerful. CGR, one of my newer rank 4s as well. It was just time. I didn't have a lot of Cosmic Champs ranked up, and you know what he can do. He's one of the highest damage champs in the game in light and medium matchups, and big matchups as well, especially when you get all those rotations locked in. So yeah, we do love CGR. Good to have him there. The Hood, one of my favorite mystics, definite rank 5 candidate as well. I've used him in so many things, even when he was rank 3. Have a lot of appreciation for this guy, and learning to play him and kind of the finesse is really one of my favorite things in the game. So gotta love Hood. Cassie, I specifically ranked her up for Decay Tactic, and she's just a great sort of general champ. Power Sting, there's like nobody is really immune to that except like Moon Dragon, I guess, can kind of reduce the duration on it, but it's direct damage, and she's one of the best champions when it comes to the way the taunt and the special one work. It's like, if you've always hated Power Sting champs, like, she's the Power Sting champ for you, because she's got tools to make it work and just whittle down their health. Plus, with the taunt and inequity, she is one of the tankiest champions in the game. I feel like I often get hit with her, but like, it does 0 damage, so that's always nice to have as well. She doesn't necessarily have glancing, but like I said, the taunt and inequity mastery really put in a lot of work for her, and she's quite good. Kingpin, I rated him the top skill champion in one of my top 10s. I do feel like he's falling a little bit out right now. Like, he's still massively powerful, but like, you don't necessarily need him when you've got other champions in the skill class that can handle the utility side of things. But just when it comes to going into a matchup blind, like, he almost always wins, and he is really good to have. I'm just not sure I'm ever going to rank 5 him because I've sort of like moved past him. But yeah, he is extremely powerful and good to have at Sig 65, which is like a good threshold point for him. Werewolf. So Werewolf is one of the champions that I got from the prize wheel. They gave me a 6-star Werewolf, which for like a non-whale like me that doesn't open Paragons, that was so cool. And there's a few of my friends are like super vibing on this guy right now, and I can see why. Not many things are immune to Rupture, and he basically, like, if he baits a couple specials and throws his special 2 with 10 of his charges, he's closing out fights so fast, and then he's ramped up and he can continue to do damage. He's got good utility against Hulkling and Gore with those regen buffs. He can just sort of like nullify them and gain power back from Mystic Dispersion and ramp even quicker. He's a very good champ, a slightly annoying defender, and I'm very glad to have him on the account. I'm probably going to rank 5 him because I'll always remember that I got him in Vancouver, and that was such a fun trip that it's like he'll be my Vancouver rank 5. So like, that's probably going to happen. I love the new champs and the designs. His animations are really fun, and yeah, woof, we love the Werewolf. And then finally, Scarlet Witch. She did her job for Karina's 3, and I do every once in a while pull her out for a little bit of fun. But yeah, she's still really good at Sig 200, like, and it's mostly a nostalgia pick. Like, hey, we have a really powerful Scarlet Witch on the account. Love to see that. So anyway, quick look at the relics, and then we're gonna look at the BG's deck. Not much to say here. I only have 3 of the 6 stars, and ironically, they're all skill. It's just sort of how it worked. But yeah, having a duped Valkyrie is phenomenal. Like, I think that's one of the best relics in the game. And then Winter Soldier pairs perfectly with Elsa, so that's why he is at rank 2, because I use Elsa all over the place. The 5 stars are starting to build up a little bit. We have 1 maxed out, which is that Hulk one, is super powerful. I'm excited that I got the Spidey 99 one recently and the Ghost Rider one. And then yeah, I haven't really been prioritizing these that much because prestige doesn't really matter to me. And I do think there are some like pretty significant benefits when you do rank them up, but overall at this moment, like, I'm just not spending my resources on the things that I need to rank them up, because I would rather use them on champion resources, and I figure like over time I'll be able to rank these up too. So if you're in my position, like, I think that's a good way to approach it. but like if you need to push prestige, like you need to be trying to rank up the ones with the highest prestige for sure, because that does matter as the game is progressing. Like you need to be able to compete in that way. I just personally don't have to. And then the last thing I'm going to do, we're going to look at my Battlegrounds deck. I do think this is kind of fun, but I'm really kind of leaning into this Decay and Sugar Pill now that I'm into the Gladiator circuit. So we can see, Scorpion can get through the tactic a little bit. Like he does have to worry about the Unstoppable, but he just does so much damage, and like he can take down other champions. Like he's good against a Tuma, for example, because he's got Shock, right? So like he's amazing, and with his Sig ability can just finish with 100% health. So he's definitely staying in the deck. The two Spider-Men, like having buff immune is great, and then having a tactic defender is great. Elsa, Shuri, and Sunspot are in there just because they're ranked 2. Null, as I mentioned, like sometimes when they place annoying techs, I surprise them by using him on attack, and he's just an annoying defender. Nick, obviously annoying defender. Fanta is really good two-way as well. Kate Bishop is the tactic. We love to see it. Starkey, I really enjoy just to like nuke down fights. Like unless if it's a tactic fight, he's doing pretty well these days. Absorbing Man is not a tactic defender, but he is quite good in this deck. And then you can kind of see what I have the rest of the way. All my annoying Mystic 7 stars are in there. The Werewolf is in there. Morbius and Spider-Man. Ooh, I got to change his stat focus are in there. Black Cat, really good against like the random Hulklings and things like that, where she's just completely shutting down the abilities. And yeah, I'm really happy with this deck. I feel like I'm really sort of like leaning into the tactic in a way that they sort of want you to, and not making like a nuke deck here. Like this is a deck that I feel like is going to help me a lot in the Gladiator circuit as I move forward. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Like I said, watch out for the video coming out in the next week or so that's going over the history of the game. I think you'll really enjoy that and kind of get like a taste of how fast ranks were available in the game, along with like what content was being released when. For me, that sort of historical stuff is really interesting. But yeah, let me know how you've been. Are you going to go to Vancouver next year? I'd love to see you there. How are you feeling about 6 stars and 7 stars, right? Like we talked about that a little bit. And let me know if there's a champion that you think I need to be ranking up for my roster. If you saw any holes in my roster, let me know that as well. But anyway, we are back. I'm really glad to be doing YouTube videos again. Thanks for checking this one out, and I'll catch you in the next one.